Hey everyone, how's it going? So today I'm hoping to finish our Fire Emblem Three Hopes Scarlet Blaze path. A little bit later stream than I usually do. I honestly don't have like any kind of set schedule still, but I do try to stream a little bit earlier in the day. Just had a little bit of stuff going on in real life that's made it difficult for me to stream the past few days, but to my knowledge, to finish this out, we have this battle, potentially one more chapter. I was looking back through my Golden Wildfire chapter and I was confused. So I had thought there were only 16 chapters in Golden Wildfire initially. I do believe though that it is probably going to be 16 chapters plus the endgame chapter, which is why I had it a little bit messed up in my head. But as you can see on this particular path, chapter 16 is only a singular battle. I do think we need to do our 3 paralogs first. We have 3 paralogs, our support conversations, and then the actual remaining content for the path. And then we'll get on to our final path after that. The issue is, it does have that little timer on there, so I'm afraid if I don't do these paralogs now, we won't be able to do them after this chapter. I don't know if that's the case. I could have looked it up, but I figured why not, we're going to have to do them anyways. So let's just hop into it. Might as well do the earliest level one first. I'm a little bit worried about the Caspar and Linhardt one. We'll probably just end up being really reliant on Shez. But aside from that, it should be fine. Okay, so Ferdinand's drinking tea with Lawrence. Yeah, I thought it was actually really funny that Lawrence and Ferdinand had such a just a wholesome relationship, just because they do serve very similar positions in their given houses slash you know, nations.
In comparison to the tea cakes you so thoughtfully procured. And yet, far more than the provisions themselves, it is your noble self who deserves the greatest measure of praise for organizing this most festive occasion.
My dear Lawrence, you flatter me.
Makes me wonder. I forgot to read the description for what was actually going on here. Shez just shows up. She's just standing there watching.
Why, Ferdinand, now it is you who flatters me.
At least they're being nice to each other. They could be arguing.
Hackneyed words could never do justice to a pinnacle of nobility such as yourself.
Oh, Constance is here too.
Those hackneyed words have become pure poetry by the alchemy of your noble idiom.
Oh, poor Constance. Always feel bad for her during the day.
What fine examples of nobility you are. The two of you shine brighter than any sun, and
There you
make
go.
my own visage all the sadder as a result.
Okay.
Good day, Constance. Not feeling well, are we?
Was Lawrence? I think this was a 3-person mission. I just wasn't paying attention.
Don't worry about me, Lawrence. I'm quite all right.
Well, I certainly won't force you,
Okay.
but do let me know if you change your mind.
Yes, well, there was something I wanted to ask you, though I fear it's a rather difficult question.
I have all confidence the two of us are up to the challenge.
Indeed. There has not been a question yet posed that could stump the two noblest of nobles.
In that case, and again, please forgive my impudence.
Oh, now she's trying to throw. Constance, why? Don't start causing an argument.
Complimenting each other regarding your suitability
Oh my
to your
gosh.
noble stations. But
Oh.
it is an impossibility for the two of you to be
Oh my
perfectly
gosh.
equal in this.
Oh, okay, maybe not. I was gonna say they had such a
Be the
like
most suited, the most noble.
Oh, okay, they had such a wholesome relationship, and she's out here like,
Which one of us?
what if I do this?
I fear you misunderstand. This is not a competition, and would be unbecoming of nobles to compare ourselves.
She's really trying to drive home the point.
But are you not constantly comparing yourselves? You are the most noble. nay,
Purely
it is
literal sense.
clearly
Okay.
you, sir, etc., etc.
Oh, okay, well.
You know, you may be right.
Now, hold just one moment. It is true that we compare each other in a purely literal sense, but it is
Oh my
also that we
gosh.
take pride in our collective peerage. And in that we are equal, for there are no degrees of true nobility.
Again, forgive me.
After she's pressed
It
that.
sounds as if there are indeed
Right after I said, I feel a little bit bad for
differences.
Constance during the day because of all the,
To avoid unseen
you know, the struggle she has with the
competition.
personality versus day versus night.
As if
And then
that's
she
the
spends like a solid like 3 paragraphs of dialogue just antagonizing Lawrence and Ferdinand. It's
Enjoy
really
your
funny.
shared throne at the pinnacle of nobility.
No, wait a moment. You make it sound as if we refuse to compete because we fear losing to the
Okay.
other.
Indeed. I had assumed we were sharing a large divan. But if
Now
we
that
are
sounds a little bit
actually
like she's
squeezing ourselves
patronizing
into
them,
a
though.
single seat, that is another matter entirely.
You both are wonderful,
Okay.
perfect nobles.
Oh my gosh. To be fair, I feel like maybe this is her... She probably needs help with something. And that's where this paralog fight probably comes from.
We must determine for good
In
and
which
all,
case, you know, it's
who of
actually kind of
us is
smart.
the noble most true.
A splendid turn of events, and one I am most undeserving of.
Why would we know? We're
I
just a
knew I could
mercenary.
count on the two of you to
As much as I
reach
love
the
Shez,
pithy
why would we know?
You've got to be kidding me.
Oh, we most certainly are not. In fact, I nominate you to
That
serve
would
as
be
an
my
arbitrator
response.
for our competition.
Here, here. You may also select the criteria.
Yeah, no, I'd rather not.
Please, you have
Thanks.
a fine eye for this sort of thing. There is no one I would trust more.
The only
Okay.
thing I've got a fine eye for involves pointy weapons and battlefields.
Still, I fear you will have to do.
In that case, how about we use the results of the next training battle?
Well, to be fair, Lawrence does always go on about... He had that big, long dialogue with Raphael explaining that he felt that it was a noble's duty to kind of prevent commoners, in his words, from entering the battlefield. To which Raphael, you know,
You will also bear witness to our
obviously just kind of
powers
ignored.
as well. For a
But I
true
guess that
noble,
kind of makes
you
sense
must
to
safeguard themselves
Lawrence's
with
personality.
treachery above all
Ferdinand,
else.
Ferdinand to me always just seemed like the type of character that was a knight, but not in the kingdom, you know? I don't know if that's just me,
Think
but
my off-the-cuff
at least
remarks
personality-wise, that's the impression I always got.
But the stakes could
Yeah,
not
that
be
too.
higher. For the
Okay, so
winner
this
will
is
be
just a training
forever
battle.
known as the
Okay.
noblest of all nobles
Interesting.
in the land.
Not sure, again, I think...
Haven't
So
you
1200
seen
enemies,
photos of
13 minutes.
Constance?
That is really funny, though. And the funniest thing about this is... This one's not as high a level, but we're probably just going to use Shez, as always. So, I don't know, I'd like to maybe push myself to use some more characters, for sure.
We will now commence today's
Oh,
training
oh,
battle.
it is nighttime now,
Every
so...
enemy within the time limit.
Interesting. Yeah, I really thought that this was going to be the type of thing where Constance needed help with something. And so she was trying to get them to be like, okay, well, let's settle this through who can defeat the most enemies. And then it turns out that,
All that I am the truest noble.
you know, something else happens, and that's how she's getting their help, is by kind of manipulating them in that way. But turns out that wasn't the case. This really does seem like it's just a training battle. I just realized there is kind of a strict time limit, so we should probably direct our units to specifically attack. Because even if you have them set on just base attack, I feel like the units really do just literally attack what's next to them. Even if there's like a given objective or something to that effect, which is annoying, but
Nothing I cannot
I think it also makes sense to some extent.
There's not a
Interesting. Oh, that reminds me. While we are just kind of doing a regular grindy battle like this, I would like to do another Genshin Impact stream. We still need to obviously finish out our third path here, or at least even get started on it and then finish it out. It's been taking about 4, 5, 6 streams, depending on how long I stream for and everything, how many stages and such I skip, as well obviously with the Merc Whistles now, to get our given paths done. But Xenoblade 3 does come out at the end of the month. I want to go back and do some of our other roguelikes before we get tied into that game for, you know, probably a few weeks. Xenoblade games are usually pretty long. But the new Genshin Impact patch 2.8 does come out here in, like, I think a day or two, if not even less. The issue is, and I think I've mentioned this on stream before, the only two characters in that game that I really want that I'm still missing are actually Kazuha and Yoimiya. I don't think I'm going to stream my pulls for Kazuha, and the reason for that is I have enough pulls that by the end of 2.8, I think I can reach Soft Pity 3 times, but not 4. And people do say that 1 out of every 3 5-stars should come early. Unfortunately, I have pretty terrible luck. For me, I mean, our Yelan did come early after we lost 50-50. But in all seriousness, like, the whole name Misfortune Crow isn't a joke. I have lost probably about 60% of my 50-50s, if not a little bit more. I don't have a good track record. I actually had, I would say, I haven't calculated out fully, but that rate did actually go up, thankfully, a little bit recently. Towards the mid to end of version 2. I would say, like, version 2.3 or 4 to obviously now in like 2.7. I did actually win a pretty considerable number of 50-50s compared to normal, which was really nice. But again, that said, I'm not going to count on that. I basically always count on, you know, losing 50-50 and that such. So I'm probably just going to... And I'm already at like 40 or 50 pity because of rolling on Kuki Shinobu and whatnot. And I'm not super interested in getting Kaijo. I know he's on this first banner. But ultimately, I think I'm going to just go to soft pity once off stream. And then if I get Kazuha, then I think they're rerunning the... I never had a chance to play it. So I started playing Genshin Impact around the first event. Sorry, not the first event. The first Eula banner. I don't know why I said event. And I played like super sparingly until actually about the Yoimiya banner. So I've wanted Yoimiya really badly ever since then. I don't really want Kazuha because he's meta. I don't really care about meta. That's not really my deal. But I do really like the character. But ultimately, I think what I've decided to do is, if I win 50-50, that's great, because then I can guarantee, you know, I get Kazuha, and then I'll have enough to guarantee double soft pity for Yoimiya. But if I do lose 50-50, I'm just going to sit on that, keep the guarantee for Yoimiya, and then I'll have kind of raised pity for... Or, sorry, not raised pity. We'll have that... The guarantee 50-50, sorry, for the Yoimiya banner, and then I'll have, you know, a soft pity or two that I can save up for the new characters in Sumeru. Which is, you know, I don't think we need to extend time. But we'll go do it anyway. But that's just kind of my plan right now. So if they redo the event for... I keep losing my train of thought, sorry. It's been a while since I streamed, kind of hard to focus. But if they redo the event with all the islands like Venti, Klee, I think it's called the Golden Apple Archipelago, because I did not play that event before. I will probably stream that once it comes out in its entirety. I like to wait. Ordinarily, when I'm playing on my own time, I will just go ahead and do, you know, all of the event day by day. But if I'm going to stream it, because of how difficult it can be to kind of get a lot of content out of Genshin Impact, I will probably just go ahead and save it, and then do it all at once, like I've done with a couple of the events in the past. But just a thought. Let's direct here. Send Constance here, and then we'll take control of Lauren's end for now. But yeah, so when we do that, we'll either have a Kazuha or we won't. I haven't been super, honestly, hyped up on any of the new Sumeru character reveals so far. I like some of the designs. I don't know if there's been drama about it, but I know a lot of things have been leaked for Sumeru that weren't probably supposed to be leaked. But that being said, I know, like, so the characters that are supposed to come out starting, I believe, are Fale as a 4-star, and then a Dendro 5-star, and a Electro 5-star on 3.0. And I actually like the Electro 5-star more than the Dendro 5-star, but Dendro's the new element, so it doesn't hurt to save pity. I don't know if I'm going to roll on Kusanali. Overall, like I was saying, I just really haven't been super drawn to any of the new characters. In fact, what's really hyped me up about Genshin is we recently got, like, I think literally like yesterday, a little teaser showing all of the Harbingers kind of mourning Signora's passing, which, to be fair, it's been a while. Signora died in, like, what was it, 2.1 or 2.2? Have we defeated enough enemies? We still need to... But it's kind of crazy how long it's been, but then they finally gathered all the Harbingers. Supposedly that's what's going on. Super cool reveal, though. I really like a lot of the Harbingers' designs, though, is what it comes down to. I'd much rather... I don't know. It's just difficult because I know a lot of the Harbingers might not be playable. Everyone assumed Signora was going to be. And we all know how that turned out. So ultimately... How are we doing on time, by the way? We're fine. Ultimately, we'll see. But like I was saying, I don't know. It's likely, too, that all of the Sumeru characters get a rerun before the end of version 3, I'd imagine. Or at least most of them. That's kind of how it's been going. So, not a big deal if we miss a few of them early on. But overall, just excited about that. But back to Three Houses, though. It's interesting. Back to Three Houses, though. Yeah, I'm a little surprised that we're fighting our allies here. Kind of funny. I guess this is a training exercise, though. They did explicitly note. So, maybe they're just, you know, having a friendly sparring match or something with each other. Oh, that laugh. Jeez. Yeah. This is what has me really worried about the, who was it, Gaspar and, who is Linhardt? Paralog, is that one's like level 50? And I really haven't leveled either of them. In fact, we should probably have... Yes, come down this way. We'll have Lawrence come down and help us. I think you can get away with things, especially in games like Warriors, but any game in general like this, you can get away a little bit better with fighting outside of like, your level with the character you're controlling.
I've got this.
Now it is my turn.
But ideally, you know, it's better, I feel, to just control Shez and take everything down as fast as possible.
Here.
But it does really weaken your ability to kind of, you know,
No.
have, say, your other units do things.
Sounded like fun.
That's it, though. We have stockpiled a bit of gold. I went ahead and S-ranked a bunch of the stages that we didn't, either didn't do or skipped with the Merc Vessel. So that gave us a good amount of gold. I think we're sitting at about 200k. I'm just really concerned about levels immediately upon getting into the Blue Lions path. I don't know what it's called. I think it's Azure Gleam or something like that. Or it's something. I think it's Azure something. But just knowing that the only characters we really have from that path so far are Mercedes and... Oh, is that the end of the mission? I don't know if we defeated enough enemies. If I don't get an S rank on these paralogs, I'm not worried about it. I think you do just get battalions. But I think we have like... So we've had Ash apparently on all three paths. And then Mercedes we didn't have on Alliance path, but we had here. But that's only 2 units. You have to consider both the Empire's path and the Golden Deer path. We had at least like half the other houses. So it's pretty odd to me that we really don't have like any of the knights, apparently other than on the knight's path. But it does mean that we're going to be starting from scratch with a lot more units, which is why I wanted to save some gold up. That said, though, I think we'll do these 3 paralogs. Like I said, I think we just have to finish them before based on the timer. And we'll do a couple of support conversations in between. We'll see. It'd be hilarious if Shez just said herself.
What an exhilarating military exercise! But now, let's have the results.
Yes, please. No need to beat around the bush.
No matter the result,
I wonder if it's based on who the
will remain as solid as bedrock.
I wonder if it was based on who got MVP.
So,
That would be pretty
tallying
interesting.
it all up,
But
and the winner is
that's pretty funny.
me. Oh, this is awkward.
You? But you were meant to watch and adjudicate the proceedings, not compete.
Sorry, Constance.
I did find it
It's hard for you to compete with a, like, level 70 character.
But the reason for it is now laid bare for all to see.
Hmm.
Then all of
It
this
was based on
effort
fighting,
for
and
nothing? Ah, what a
Shez is a
cannibal!
mercenary.
I didn't mean to, honest. But once the fight started,
I don't think anybody's worth can be measured in practice battle.
Yeah.
Outside of, like, I don't know, your
There's
battle
no
potential,
sense
maybe.
knocking over spilt milk. Perhaps
Thanks,
you learned
Constance.
that a noble's worth can't be measured in a practice battle.
See, Lawrence is gonna invite us to some tea.
Can a
That's a lot more
competition be
wholesome.
If some base commoner was able to best the 3 of us.
Perhaps you are correct. But as a victory is still a victory, what say we celebrate with some tea?
A fine idea. You must permit me to lend my magical touch to the tea making.
Hold, Constance. I think we
oh,
could
really?
do without your magic.
Like in the literal sense, or just...
We just had a large practice skirmish.
That's interesting.
I imagine there are many people trying to sleep at this hour. Your magic makes
Well, it
the
is
tea
nighttime,
shine
so-
bright, it could easily disturb them.
A point well made.
You know, she's got
In
a lot more
that case,
energy than if it was
I'll
during the
give
day.
tea to others and dazzle you instead with my sparkling conversation.
This will be
I still thought it was weird how,
you have
even though the Alliance didn't turn into a federation with Claude as king, they still kept, like, Lysithia and Lawrence as the heirs to their houses. They're just fighting in the Empire's army. There was, like, a quick scene explaining that even though they obviously had duties and there was a meeting, like a war council between them, they couldn't show up because they had, you know, their responsibilities with the Empire's army. Just interesting. I had wondered if there was going to be a more in-depth explanation, which, honestly, it still works functionally.
People are trying to
It was just one of those things that I'd been curious about. But let's do a couple support conversations. We have a good few. Let's see. Ferdinand has one with Caspar. And it's their A-rings. That's interesting. It's also... We don't even have B-rank with Ferdinand here, but... It's interesting that A-rank is locked right now. Like I said, I'm not worried about 100%ing support conversations. I just figured... Might as well view all the ones that we, you know, do get on stream.
Alright, now just... Huh. What's with the weird design on this piece here?
Oh, okay.
That is no design, Caspar, but a fracture.
Oh.
And a perfectly straight one at that.
So they're giving like advice and like,
Which makes it rather hard to
I'm assuming
discern.
inventory or something like that.
It will likely not prove worth the bother.
Well,
Best relegate the piece to life as training equipment.
Wow, you really know your stuff,
yeah, he seems
I'm
bothered.
clueless when it comes to this kind of thing. Sometimes I think you know everything.
Oh, I am not quite so impressive as that.
Thought that was what he was gonna say.
You seem troubled by something, Caspar. What is it? No, forgive my presumption.
Did we say
I
that?
was merely imagining it.
Did we have our
You do know everything. Something is kind of
I'm trying to remember if we've done any sport conversation with Caspar. Hopefully that wasn't us. Or Shez, I mean.
And they said that meant I wanted the war to go on forever.
I know he's talked very specifically that he wants to distinguish himself in battle because he's not the heir to his house, he's a second son, and he doesn't feel like he fits quite as well with some other roles he could play, but yeah, that said.
I do not think you have cause to worry. You may
Oh,
not know what
that's
the future
that's
holds,
fair.
But you are delivering great results as a leader. Surely you will be held in
Yeah,
esteem
he's definitely
for
in his
such.
head.
Sure.
He's usually a pretty straightforward character. Maybe not to the quite the extent as like, I don't know, Raphael. But Caspar's still pretty much like a I'm gonna keep going forward no matter what type of character, so a little bit worrying. But Ferdinand's talking about his concerns.
We all have our worries.
Hmm.
Why, even
Oh.
I have one or two of my own.
Interesting.
Oh yeah? Like what?
Well, your earlier appraisal of my boundless talents.
Kind of nice that Ferdinand's trying to like relate in a way. Not in like a condescending way. I don't think this comes across as like him trying to be condescending. So much as like
No doubt I can handle most
he's
things
trying to
without
like,
much difficulty.
oh yeah, jack of all trades. But like he's kind of trying to relate to Caspar, which is honestly really helpful. I think
But to me, that fact is nothing more than
he's kind of explaining, yeah, that
having no problem
Ferdinand is like a jack of all trades but master of none. Whereas he's showing that he has admiration for the fact that Caspar is such a crazy good fighter, you know. He really shines in one aspect. Everyone's good at some things, you know. You just have to find it, and that's something I really believe.
Okay, you are seriously overthinking this
I
entire
mean, there's,
thing,
oh
Ferdinand.
gosh, like, let me tell you, my,
Don't get me
just to
wrong,
name a
I'm
few,
not
like, my
gonna
drawing
let
skills,
me.
terrible. My FPS game skills, really bad. There's a reason I probably won't ever stream any FPS games, because I'm horrible. But,
Look, I'm bad at the sciences,
you know, like,
hopeless with
on the flip
strategy,
side, I do really well with
completely
music and,
coordinating anything besides tying my own shoes.
you know, like, academics, which is nice, so.
But you can help me with
Just
all
gotta
that
find what
stuff.
you really enjoy.
And not just me.
But,
You
yeah,
can help
see?
everyone
I mean, I know it's a
learn
fictional
what
character, but that
makes.
obviously cheered Caspar up.
Sheesh.
Hmm.
All right, that's enough worry for one day. Time to go run until I puke. Yeah!
There you go, yeah.
Caspar, wait!
Mhm.
And
See how that cheered up Ferdinand as well, he's kind of realizing, even if he can't help,
I suppose
like,
the man makes
some
sense.
people with some things, if he's only,
My
even if
life
you're only
is
average at
supposed
everything or
to
slightly
be
above
the
average, like
ability
Ferdinand is
to
trying to
relate to everyone.
kind of say he feels he is, that means he can help people with the things they struggle, you know? So, that's actually pretty wholesome, I quite like that. See what Gaspar has. Gaspar has 2 with Mercedes, so we'll maybe save those, group them up after our next one. Let's see, Ignatz then, and... Ignatz and Happy, okay. I have no idea what these two could possibly talk about, actually.
What's this? A stack of pictures? Let's see here.
Mhm.
Cat, cat, cat. Scenery.
I'm still curious, was there ever a canonical house that
Oh,
different
and a
members
picture of
of
me playing with a cat.
the Ashen Wolves joined? Like, was it canonically the Empire? I know they can join every single house in 3 houses,
Just had something
but
to
I've
take
always
care of.
wondered.
Nothing important though.
And I know they're technically like their own house as well, but again, like in this game, I'm pretty sure Happy and Constance,
Please?
we
Oh, I
in
just
both
noticed
paths so
that
far joined with the
one of them
Empire.
was actually a picture
Yuri
of
joined
me.
on the same battle both times that we got Byleth
I
and
wonder who
Gerald.
decided to draw me
And then
without bothering
Balthus,
to
I think, joined at like a random time. I can't remember, I actually off the top of my head can't remember when he joined this path,
Not very nice.
but I know he was kind of independent
You know a lot about
in
foreign
Golden
stuff.
Wildfire.
Any
So,
idea who
really
might
don't
have
know.
done this?
Well, it's It's not easy to determine an artist based on pen strokes alone.
Yeah,
Interesting.
not that. I wanted to know if you knew anyone else
What's
who
wrong
drew
with
stuff.
liking cats?
Well, there's a lot of cat pictures, so someone who likes animals, maybe?
I like cats and dogs, so
Maybe.
I don't know how easy it is. I have friends who have
That's a
had
lot of cats.
both at the same time, but I think it, from what I've been told, it kind of depends on their circumstance.
Sorry I wasn't much help. Anyway, I should go.
Wait.
Oh, okay, Ignatz is a good artist.
I didn't mention the cats.
I mean, I always really admire people who can draw really well.
Oh.
Oh, she's mad because he lied about it.
You drew these, Iggy. There's no way you could know about the cats otherwise.
Oh, it's kind of the typical, like, artist just saw something, wanted to draw and draw. But she's mad because he
You
lied.
to me.
Which is fair,
Can't
you
believe
know?
this.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry I drew you without your permission.
Oh.
That's not what I'm mad about, Iggy. I'm just mad you tried to lie to me.
Maybe he's just not confident about his drawing skills, which is fair.
I did.
I'm
sorry.
as someone who also struggles with confidence a lot, that's why I have the VTuber model. Because I wanted something to represent me, but I was never going to do a face cam.
That's why I wanted to know who drew it.
Yeah, I mean, I've had problems with kind of similar,
So
like,
you're
it just...
not angry I drew you without asking?
Pretty
I know,
sure
that just hit-
told you that.
weird for me, I don't know why.
I suppose
But
I
anyway,
misread the
that ended up being
situation.
wholesome. I thought it was going to be one of those that...
It's fine.
Because I feel like a lot of... Like, there's been a surprising number that only have one conversation or one support level.
Keep as many as you
Because of the dots. In fact, it makes me wonder, does Ignatz just not have conversations with all these people? Which would be fair. Like, obviously he didn't have one with, like, Ferdinand. But... I don't know why that one just hit a little close to home, because I've had people get, like, really upset with me for similar stuff just because it wasn't the intention. But... Anyway, on to the next one. So we've got Edelgard, Lysithea, and Happy. Those who slither in the dark. That makes sense why Lysithea is directly involved. I'm a little curious to see how Happy plays out here, but... I mean, obviously Edelgard and Lysithea both have very direct reasons for targeting them. I really wonder, is there ever any point where we do successfully find out and get confirmation that we did heal Lysithea? Because that's something that I know I've mentioned several times, but I really worry for Lysithea, because I really like Lysithea. And, it's like something that we do directly find a cure for in her romance options / support conversations. I can't remember if it's A or S in
Hey Liz, how's it going?
Three Houses, but they mentioned in Golden Wildfire, and then we never got anything like super conclusive. We got kind of like a good outlook in that, hey, you know, Claude telling her, you know, expect that you have a future, but wasn't exactly, you know, there, but...
The rumors about
Oh, she
Happy are
didn't.
true?
I actually didn't realize that Happy's power came from Those Who Slither in the Dark's experiments either. That or I just didn't remember. Again, it's been so long since I played Three Houses, and now we've gone from streaming pretty much every day to, like, it's been a few days. Like I said, I've just had some stuff going on that's made it difficult to stream every day. But today I was like, even though it's a few hours later than I usually stream, I just really wanted to stream. So I figured, we'll do it.
But still, I'm actually glad you didn't
Mhm.
believe it.
But,
I presume we're ready
yeah,
to
still
move
not
on
paying
to
it
the next
quite
topic.
enough attention to this. But yeah, they're talking about Those Who Slither in the Dark, Happy's power, they're trying to figure that out. So are we gonna get conclusive... Sorry, Happy. We probably did, I just don't remember.
But I'm sure I'll pick up whatever I need to know.
Hey,
along the
Ado...
way.
that's mean.
My past, all the things
I
that
do have a
happened to me,
startling talent for remembering dumb things that are not important to the situation.
dumb are we? Well,
That'll get me into
probably
trouble
not.
at the worst times, but then when I'm trying to remember something actually important, I'm like, huh,
Woman named Cornelia,
can't think of it.
Kingdom's former court mage. Apparently, she is also one of those who slither in the dark. When the
It was
kingdom learned she
Cornelia,
was
that's
planning an
interesting.
insurrection,
That didn't even
they
register in my head.
decided an
I didn't
army
expect
to
it to be Cornelia, of all people.
But is she truly dead? A cunning woman like her might
Interesting.
have secured a body double and escaped.
That makes me wonder what happens. Do we actually... I really wonder if we actually do get rid of Cornelia in Three Hopes again.
and can only
Because
trust the kingdom
everyone
to
hated
follow
Cornelia, and rightfully so, in Three Houses. Honestly, that character was...
We think
Ooh.
we found one of our old
Um...
hideouts.
You know, I like to think that there's redeeming qualities in everyone.
Based on what we've been
But...
able to from Happy's
That's
husband,
one of those characters that
police
it's a
say
fictional character
somewhere
made to
in the
serve one
western portion
purpose,
of the kingdom,
and they did a good job of having her serve that singular
with the
purpose.
war's front having moved further north, we're currently
But that's one of
in
those awkward
position
things
to
that makes me
investigate.
wonder, because the Ashen Wolves appear to be recruitable in every path.
Oh,
So is there going to be any extra dialogue when we're on the kingdom if we have to deal with Cornelia? Will we not have Happy until that point, you know? Because it does appear that Yuri is always the last woman you recruit in the Ashen Wolves, which makes me think, well, regardless of whether it's the pair or Balthus first, still, you know?
For now, you are merely serving as additional steel. However, it's possible we might find a connection between Happy's power.
The thing is, though, everyone keeps comparing our powers to those who slither in the dark, but how do you even explain it, you know? A being such as Arvel wasn't really present to my knowledge in Three Houses in any of the paths.
It's my job to protect you anyway. My and Hubert's job.
Okay, so Hubert's just busy.
Say, where is Hubert anyway?
That's fair.
He usually jumps at the chance to be involved in this kind of thing.
It is a paralogue Edelgard, so I kind of doubt it, but we didn't get as much, like, conclusion on those who slither in the dark. Like, obviously Solon dies. We did kill Kronia in this path, but I don't think we did in Golden Wildfire. Just... Oh, that was not the button I meant to hit. But just lots of interesting. So we've got 12 minutes, 1,500 enemies. Not too bad. We'll probably end up using Edelgard and Shez, as always. Oh, wait, no, we have Lysithea. I just realized we have 3 of our 4 most leveled units, so... Well, Edelgard may not technically be, but... I think Gerald's still a higher level than Edelgard. But we haven't used Gerald as much this path, because Gerald was kind of... Like, I was really... My main team was Byleth, Shez, the 2 protagonists, and Lysithea. And then I just wasn't using Claude in Golden Wildfire, because I wasn't a huge fan of the moveset. So that's why we ended up using Gerald as kind of a placement for that. And that's kind of why we've ended up using Edelgard instead. That's it, though. We'll see. I do have an idea. I'm really genuinely curious if Lysithea is going to be recruitable on the Kingdom Path. I hope so. I do. Obviously, Byleth and Geralt will probably be... It's just hard because so many of the Kingdom characters aren't recruitable on other paths. It makes me wonder if the Kingdom Path is very much like an almost semi-exclusive. I'm going to be forced and / pigeonholed into using more Kingdom characters than in any other path. Which would be interesting. But it also, I feel, kind of defeat the purpose of doing the Kingdom Path last when I'd have all these other levels and stuff built up. That said, if we'd done it first and then we only had, like, you know, Ashe on every path, that also wouldn't have been exactly the most helpful thing in the world. Little star up. Yeah, I really like Edelgard's moveset, though. I think as a Lord character, I really did like Claude, actually. But that's in terms of personality. In terms of gameplay, though, we haven't done too much with the mage. We've done literally, like, the one mission in both paths, where you get to control all 3 of the lords at the same time, plus Shez. And I think moveset-wise, I really did like both Dimitri and Edelgard's. I tend to be a little bit more... I really like the mages in this game. But if you've watched my... the little bit I did going back through Fire Emblem Warriors a bit ago, the original Fire Emblem Warriors, I really did not enjoy ranged characters as much in that game. Like, I was looking back through some of my old footage a little bit recently, even on some other games because I was bored. When I did have time, I guess I could have, you know, streamed it, but you know, and I really did not favor that many characters that were not melee. But I don't know, that's just interesting too. It depends on the game, because again, I really love the Wyvern Riders in the original Warriors, and I really haven't enjoyed them as much in this game. The only equivalent, because Claude is similar, but he uses a bow. But my most played characters were Minerva and Camilla in that playthrough, because the moveset, and it's just, that's not, you know, a thing here. Oh, we have to defeat, okay. We might have Happy work on that. So it looks like we have to defeat the enemies surrounding to get her out. That's interesting. It makes me wonder if they're going to do the same thing. Yeah, they just did the same thing to Edelgard. Okay. Is that the main mission, or could I get away with not doing it?
Yeah, I got it.
I think that's the main mission, because I was going to say we do have Shez outside of the group, but that's fine. Alright. Oh, I missed. Never mind. Interesting. I've been thinking about what other games aside from Xenoblade, you know, and the normal stuff that I'd like to stream. I've had a friend suggest, I know The Quarry's been really popular recently, but I've had a friend suggest that series like Man and Medan, the others. I don't know how, so I've watched like, I think I've mentioned this, but I've watched Tio's run-throughs on a few of those games, but not the entire run-through, it's just been the YouTube video, so I couldn't tell you exactly, I couldn't tell you the majority of the choices, so it's still mostly be fresh, but those are like $60 games I haven't played. We'll see. I might do 1 or 2 on stream. But I'm trying not to spend too much money on games as well recently. But like I said, I mean, we'll see. I've already paid for the pre-order of, well, I've set it up to be paid for, the however Nintendo does their system for Xenoblade 3. So, gotta be a little careful, as you do. Just take Happy around and try and... How are we doing on enemies? We're pretty close. It's so hard. I wish that the KO count... I get that it's meant to be, like, your specific KOs, but I really do wish that the KO count was fully accurate. Even if you can just hit minus and kind of figure it out, which we didn't figure out for, like, a solid 3/4 of our first path, but... I really do wish that you could just kind of immediately tell. Because it would make life a lot easier. So then we're gonna send... Oh my gosh, okay. Send Happy there. Might as well have Shez capture this, and we'll probably take care of Edelgard. That seems to be the gimmick for this match, though. Every one of the main strongholds we had to capture, they just surround it with enemies and then lock them in. I should have guessed that that would happen again. I would have, again, maybe sent Shez in. I would have sent Edelgard to capture. I just didn't, Oh, wait. Never mind. I'm confused. Looks like she just has the doors open but can't fight. Jeez. The game debated me. I assumed it was going to be the same thing. Alright. Stick control of Happy. But this is, again, what has me concerned. If I have to spend some of my money to level up for a last paralog, I might. I just... We'll see. Yeah, we haven't defeated enough enemies. Interesting. If memory serves, wasn't the point of the experiments on Lysithia to see if you could have more than one crest?
Cornelia's research seems to have had different aims than the experiments.
That's nice of Edelgard to say.
Which means it likely differs from my own experience as well. For the sake of your future, Lysithia, I hope
Find
you
Cornelia's
find
base,
some
okay.
connection.
So it's one of the two. I'd imagine it's the one that's tucked a little bit further away. But since we're already by this one, might as well check it.
Let's investigate things.
Oh my gosh. Achievement. Oh my gosh, okay. Let's see, so we'll send Edelgard here. Take control of Lysithia and head to the other one. We could rush the other base straight away, but I don't feel like having multiple characters trapped again. And I think we're still probably pretty good on time. Yeah, we're good on time. We've only had a couple stages in this entire second path playthrough that have even come remotely close on S rank time. Again, if I'm going to do a stage, because we have skipped a lot, I would like to get S rank for the free rewards. But if I don't, at the end of the day, I literally think with Shez alone, minus obviously like the paralogs and such, which even then you can use Shez, I just am worried about things like time limit. I'm pretty sure we could beat the entire third path with just Shez though. So, not too shabby. I think we'll probably still do normal difficulty. I've considered going down to easy or up to hard. Because easy would let us get through the third path story a little bit faster. And hard would, you know, actually potentially provide a challenge, but we'll probably just do normal. I enjoy Fire Emblem games pretty casually. I used to do like super hardcore playthroughs. Like I remember on Shadow Dragon I did like every single hard difficulty. There were like 7. And it gets to a point for me where it's cool to find the strategies past a point. But there's also a point where it's just not fun anymore. Like Shadow Dragon I think was pretty notorious for you kind of needed to do... Other fine girls. I can probably just leave them be if it's a side mission. But it just hit a point for me where it was like, you do so much like Coliseum grinding. You had to second guess every single move. I was restarting stages constantly because at the time I was using my DS, not an emulator. Like, it just, it's not that the challenge isn't fun in its own way, but if I want to play a game for like a challenge, I'll play like one of the Souls games or something, you know? Oh my gosh. Did that open it up? Oh, okay. Was not expecting that. But overall, though, I really did like Shez in this game, though. I don't know why. I just not just design-wise. I just really like the character. Having a character that's more. That's not gonna hit the one behind me. Oops. I don't know. Just having a character that's still a mercenary. I mean, you have to consider Byleth was a mercenary prior to becoming a professor at Garreg Mach as well. I just really like the character. More like, I don't know, grounded character. Because almost every character in this game is either a noble or someone directly connected to a noble.
We've given this area a
So,
thorough look. Is there
I don't know,
anything
having someone who is completely unconnected yet still obviously had some crazy power, stuff like that, was really refreshing to me. But yeah, it does appear as though the Mysterious Soldiers is a side mission, so I'm not going to worry about it. That could bite me if I do actually have to go back and beat him up, but like they did like 35 damage there, it's not a big deal. And it does leave big indicators on the ground as to what they're doing. Interesting. Probably quite a few.
Is this a dungeon? I've never been in here. This air feels just like the area beneath the palace. How many have met their ends here?
Be it alliance,
Oh.
empire, or kingdom, their evil has left its
Oh.
mark everywhere.
Honestly, I wasn't expecting that. That caught me a little off guard.
What triggered the door mechanism? Could my brethren have fallen?
Did I do it? Yep. Poor Odess did not even stand a chance. Yeah.
I don't know why you came here, but I won't soon forget this.
Okay.
How could he not know?
Let's get the
collect what
magic.
we found in
Yeah, I
the
don't know
base
how important the
Hubert should be able to tell us more.
all of the like battalions are. I really have. That's one thing I haven't paid enough attention to. I switched some of the characters I use the most over to higher level battalions, but again, it's just lots of stuff like that. In games like this, I tend not to change, and then I realize I probably should have, and I'm like, well, eh. Yeah, it's probably pretty disappointing, but yeah, Edelgard seemed really shaken up by the fact that it was similar down to being underneath the Empire.
Experience for you and Liz. Eh, Eddie? I can't claim to be as disaffected as you, but I'm fine.
Jeez.
No need to put on a brave face, Edelgard. I feel terrible,
Oh.
and I'm certain you do as well. It's just that nothing ever bothers Happy.
In that case, I feel as if I've just gone digging through an entire crate of old
I'm not looking forward to dealing with her
And yes, this base seems mostly abandoned.
when
But who knows
we get
how
to the
many
Kingdom
found
Path.
themselves chained to operating tables while Cornelius
Because they do
was
make it
still
sound like they
alive.
did, in fact, you know, get rid of her, obviously. So we know what's gonna happen, but
Happened to all of you,
still.
right? Well, I'm glad you made it out the other side.
Yeah, maybe.
Now we got to fight together like this.
We were lucky.
I do think it's hilarious, though, that in these games they're like, yeah, it was relatively abandoned. We defeated like 1,600 people.
Anyway,
I wouldn't call that
get out of
abandoned.
here before more jerks decide to crash the party.
Same, honestly.
Nothing like a nice bed and a warm meal to lift your spirits after something like this.
It's awesome.
So long as that meal contains something sweet.
Sweet? Sure, all right. Why not?
Tea time it is
Huh.
then, for all four of us. Let's hurry back. I mean,
Do they?
if that's all right with the two of you.
Interesting.
Of course. I'm actually growing fond of our weird little band.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I was like, I thought
You sure
I
you
thought it
don't
was other
really
people. I
think
didn't think
should
Lysithea
party
did.
ready?
Really?
Seems like you guys do that a lot.
And Ferdinand makes sense as well, but
I believe Monica is the one who has tea with Edelgard most frequently.
maybe this is in reference to the whole Instead of doing an expedition, it's a tea party in 3 houses.
Don't forget about yourself. I've seen the two of you
I'm not the biggest fan of tea, but I'll drink tea.
I had no idea everyone was so interested in my habits. You make it sound like all I do is drink tea.
Oh no, if anything, you don't drink enough. You're always working yourself too hard.
But you could still work more. Henry. And while we're on the subject of change, let's talk about Lysithea and her sweets addiction.
I beg your pardon? Why, I really
You
have
can
no
either
interest in
pull
sweets
out
at
or you
all.
can go,
And
you
it's
can
hard
double
to
down.
compare my work
And let me
ethic
tell
with
you, I
the
never
other
pull out.
emperor.
Oh my gosh. Oh.
I said what I said, and I stand by it.
How rude! As punishment,
Mhm.
I demand you give me your daily dessert ration from now on.
Thanks, Edelgard.
Don't make me sigh at you, pal.
Oh dear, you were all so very odd.
That was a nice one.
But I'm still delighted to count you.
Yeah, let's
all
do
as
the
allies.
Caspar Mercedes. I don't know how these two got such high affinity,
Someone
actually.
enjoy herself.
I guess it's only B rank, but like, I don't know if they were, maybe they were in the same like chore group. Because I tend to genuinely just do like, it's obviously you get to take 2 people whenever you do your chores. In this game. And so if they're in the same like, if it's like feed the horse or something like that, and they are in the same group, that's probably how they got such high affinity, I'd have to imagine. That's the only thing I can think of. Euritsa's Mercedes' little brother.
Hello,
Oh,
Caspar.
I didn't remember
What
that.
do you need? I wanted to ask you something about Professor Euritsa.
Oh.
He's your little brother, yeah?
Wait,
Yes, that's right.
Euritsa's her little brother,
Nothing. Except
but he wants to ask his sister for advice on energies. Just pull Mercedes into it.
So I thought maybe
Oops,
you
wrong button.
might know some special way I could train to
But
beat him.
she's in the
Since you're his
academy
sister
and
all.
he's a professor?
Way to beat Euritsa. Oh, I
Huh.
have it.
All right,
What did
lay
she...
it on me.
Oh no.
Here, follow me.
Whatever, like she gave him advice that has nothing to do with
I
battle.
don't think this is going very well.
Please allow
Yeah.
me.
Yeah.
There, see? If you do it like so, it's actually quite
Oh.
simple.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Wait, no.
Does Euritsa have a sweet tooth that he doesn't tell anyone about?
Professor Euritsa.
He doesn't really talk a whole lot. I really doubt that's it, Caspar.
Oh, I see. Again, no. How does that help? Unless, hang on. Are these actually?
Well, there's all the
magic
magical
treats that
stat
only
raising
belong
items.
in
There is
magical
that, so,
drink?
you know.
I don't want to win like that. It's cheating.
You're so amusing, Caspar. But no, there are no magical treats that do such a
Oh,
thing.
yeah, that doesn't actually look bad.
Look here. They're almost done, so watch what I do very carefully.
What is that, though? It almost looked like a cookie or bread type thing with, like, some kind of
These
filling.
look amazing.
Oh my gosh, he is super set on this being some kind of, like,
Beating myself here.
magical power.
How does this help me beat Professor Euritsa? Is
Oh.
there some kind of terrible secret in the method?
I love sweets.
Magic in the
I like
brown
food.
maybe?
But I can't cook or bake to save my life.
There's no secret. Euritsa has loved sweets
Oh my
for the
gosh, yeah.
longest time.
I think he was talking about in battle, Mercedes, but...
Comes to making them,
Yeah.
so
That's
if
pretty
you
funny.
can make
Hey, you
all
take the
sweets
victories where you
can
can get 'em.
eat, I'm sure he'll be vexed and acknowledge his
I wonder if
defeat.
this is like he did it and now they're talking about it.
Trying to beat him
That
in
would be pretty
cooking,
funny.
not baking.
Or he just fought him again, okay. Oh my gosh. She's like dead set on not actually giving him combat advice.
How can I beat him?
Let's see. What if you made all the cats in the base like you? Yes, I think that's a wonderful idea.
Oh, but do Kates hate him?
Pop up out of nowhere
I
and
like cats
scare
and
me like
dogs.
that, Mercedes. It's not nice. And wait,
I had a cat until
liking
she
it?
passed about a year ago, I think now,
Euritsa
but
has adored cats
I had her since I was in
since he
kindergarten.
little.
Really love cats, but I've also always wanted like a husky.
When he approaches. Perhaps it's because he's so much bigger? In any case, if he saw cats being affectionate with you, I'm sure he would acknowledge his defeat.
Again.
Oh my gosh.
For here. Look, it's simple.
Oh, it 100% is, and you know it.
That's it.
No, Scar's very much a I'm going head on in type of character, I feel, but
Surely that isn't your strategy on an actual battlefield.
well, there you go. You didn't like the baking idea.
Could be, but yeah, that's probably not the smartest idea in the world. But since this isn't a battlefield, it's up to me how I want to fight the guy.
Yeah, that's
Yet I
a fair
feel that
point.
Going up against him would be the same as being on a battlefield.
Oh my gosh.
You are companions who fight for the same cause. Why would you hurt one another?
I didn't
to
expect him
spite
to
the
do
outcome
that,
of the
but
day?
hey, at least he gets it.
Wouldn't it be nicer to compete by baking treats or being loved by cats?
And you know what? Wholesomely enough,
What you're saying?
he had his conversation with Ferdinand. This could kind of help him
How about we spend today
find a way to
sitting
kind of get
cats
around
and continue our baking
the fact that he
efforts
feels
this
that he
evening?
struggles with things outside of combat.
I didn't say I agreed. I just said I got what you were saying and that it was weird. How'd she trick me into baking
Oh.
again? What am I gonna do with all these things? Huh? Where'd Mercedes go? It's Professor Yuritsa. Maybe I can trick her again.
Oh my gosh.
Those are the treats I made.
Oh.
Utterly delicious.
Oh my gosh.
You made these?
Jeez.
I am defeated.
Wait,
No, that's probably a good thing.
I can't believe Professor Yuritsa just admitted defeat so casual. This is great. But also,
I really didn't expect that.
also,
Well, I guess if it is her little brother, she knew him very well, but still. Looks like we have one more. Okay, we'll do that after we do this parallel. Like I said, I'm really worried about this. It's level 50. Embers from the Uprising and Hrim, huh? We'll see. I believe... I don't know what level my Caspar is. My Linhardt, I want to say, is level... I'm not sure. I know, as of the end of Golden Wildfire, every character was at minimum 35. But we'll see.
you even listening to me, Linhardt?
Oh my
I know
gosh.
what I saw.
Linhardt's like, yeah, no, I think you know what you're saying. You just...
I just think
Oh, I
you
get it.
misunderstood what your eyes were telling you.
The guy
Mhm.
didn't have a head. What could I possibly misunderstand about
Yeah,
that?
Linhardt's very, like, unimpressed, but that's kind of funny. To be fair, if someone came up to you and was just like, no, I swear I saw someone without a head, it has to have been a ghost, you're probably going to look at him in the same way these two are. Yeah.
And you'll never convince me otherwise, no matter how much you howl. So
Maybe,
best
but...
just let it go.
Linhardt's usually pretty lazy, too. He could have done that,
You're
but...
being real stubborn about this.
Oh, hey.
Wouldn't it be easier to just mumble something about how he
Oh,
might
yeah, it's
be
their
right
fathers.
and move on?
A fair point. But you see... Father? Well, this is unexpected.
I wonder if they came to ask for troops to help with this uprising.
Matters to discuss with Her Majesty and prefer to do so in person.
There you go.
I came to consider the continued unrest.
You didn't have to say that, Linhardt.
And you thought it might be nice to pay your dear son a visit while you were in the area.
Yeah.
A sensible conclusion. Death awaits around every corner in these times. Each visit could be
Yeah,
your
that's what I
last.
thought.
You are a fountain of positivity, my son.
We're not just here to bandy words. There's a fight waiting for us, and a lot of you are going to help.
Jeez.
All of us?
He can't possibly be counting me among those slated to help. Can he? Father?
I was against the idea, but as you might imagine, Count Burgley's
Oh,
would have none
okay.
of it. You know, some of the former Prime Minister's rebel sympathizers escaped, yes?
How many of them could possibly be left, to be fair, you know?
Town near to here. Leopold means to mount an attack and wipe them out in one fell swoop.
With just us? I hope you have more troops on the way.
Sorry, but this is all we've got. My army's engaging the kingdom on the Western Front. And
Oh
Her
yeah,
Majesty's
no.
forces are busy
There
with
is that.
preparations for the next battle. Now come. We don't have much time.
Right, got
Yeah, it doesn't seem like that type of
What do you
person.
think will happen to us if we let the two of them go it alone and they end up dead?
Oh, fine. As you said, it's not like we can talk the Count out of anything once he says
Yeah, of
we need to.
course.
And Caspar is just as bad.
That apple is so close to the tree, it may as well be part of the roots themselves.
I'm not gonna, but I just... I know in the past when you had options like that in Paralogs, it would just not send you on the Paralog. But I don't think that's actually the case here.
Don't see how I can say no when you put it like that. You're just as bad as Count Burgley's in your own special way.
Yeah, we should probably get going.
You appear to have a bond of mutual trust. Nicely done, son.
I'm not sure that's how I'd phrase it, but moving on. If we're going to do this thing, I suggest we move out and do it already.
Well.
Yeah, if we don't hurry,
Yeah.
Caspar and his dad'll be drowning in bad guys before we even get our boots laced. Come on, we gotta
Poor
catch up.
Linhart.
See, I knew I could rely on you.
So now allies can be routed. Berkeley's and Hebring are up here. Okay. Well, let's see. What level were they again? So, my Linhart's level 40. Kaspar's... Okay, they're both level 40. That's surprising. Like I was saying, I think the minimum level I had any characters at were 35. For those that I did have. I obviously didn't have Caspar in Golden Wildfire, but still. I didn't think Caspar was... I thought Caspar was like level 30. I'll take it. Should be doable. As always, we'll probably be pretty heavily reliant on Ches. But don't imagine it'll be too much of an issue.
So much for catching the enemy unprepared. Well, no matter. We'll wipe out what's
The big downside when you're only using one character, though, is you run out of weapon art pretty fast. Or weapon durability, I suppose it's called. I just always call it weapon art because that's what I assume it is, but I think it's called weapon durability. Alright. Alright, let's send Linhart to this one and hope they can take care of it. Jeez. I think they fought together during... Did they fight together during a fight when we were on the... I could have sworn we saw these two fighting together in Golden Wildfire at some point, but I might be wrong. I still don't know too, like, if you don't kill all the enemies in the base before the base captain, does it give you credit for the KOs? I don't think I've seen it do so. But again, it's not like KO count's been a huge issue. It's just really annoying because about, you know, 9 times out of 10, if we failed the S ring, it's been because we didn't defeat enough enemies, so. Just my thought. Okay, Kaspar's not too weak. I'm worried that if we don't get to them fast enough... Oh, Linhart had a healing spell. That's actually... I didn't think about that. He's not doing any damage. Crud. I think I had given Linhart a healing spell because I was worried if we had another escort mission, it was going to be difficult. Which this time it didn't end up being such when we did have one. I don't remember who it was that was poisoned, actually, now I'm thinking about it. It was someone else other than Dorothy, I thought. Like I said, I always remember these things when I'm just sitting by myself, and then I try to think of them on, like, stream or when I'm... Or anything important when I'm supposed to, and then I just can't. But I remember we did... That's one of the few stages that we did restart. I still count that as failure, but... Dorothy died, like, right outside the gates when we had to escort her when she was poisoned. And so that's the reason why I was like, okay, we'll give Linhart a healing spell. If we ever run into that issue again, we'll be able to heal, and then we never did. So... Just one of those type of shticks. But yeah, let's make our way over there. See the strongholds. Okay. So the issue is, I think... I mean, we can send him there. Send Linhart there. Linhart, it says he has a 90%, but... Like I said, it did not feel like I was doing much damage with Linhart, so... Jeez. Oh, sees more strongholds than them. Well, we better get over there then.
Or you can leave us out of your absurd
Everyone's just like, yeah, no, it's not happening. That's fair. Yeah, they're capturing strongholds pretty fast. Maybe I should have gone to the ones that they were going to first, because I'm pretty sure we'll fail if we tie.
I understand he was taking
Can't imagine that counts. Unless we take Linhardt and we just end up being the one to actually... Oh my gosh. I could heal them too. A token, everybody says. Yeah, you really do forget how many magic users there are in the Black Eagles until you're like using your characters. And you just realize like, huh. Alright, let's see. They took out the bases behind this. Then hurt there. Yeah, I just don't know how much I'll be using Linhardt this mission. Oh my gosh, it targeted the wrong enemy. Oh.
Not a problem.
Was warped by... Oh, they warped him up there.
well, if that's what you want.
I personally think it's a terrible idea, but I'll let you make your own decision. That's funny.
Would you like to be warped as well, Caspar? I personally think it's a terrible idea.
That's interesting.
I'll let you make your own decision.
No thanks. I'm running on pure clean Caspar power this time.
Hopefully this finishes that enemy. We'll see though. That is the downside to Paralogs though. Like, the upside is you always have Shez. The downside is I really have not raised most of these characters. So, you know. How many enemies do we have to... Oh, we're already almost there.
Take a breather.
Counting bodies is so tacky. It's also just violent.
Can't we just have a nice, normal battle? Counting bodies is so tacky. More bandits?
I mean, that's fair.
Mostly bandits, I guess. I don't see very many rebels.
What's all the commotion? If we're under attack, then
I'd imagine the duel will be fine if we left them to their own devices with those extra thieves, but we can just go up there and then warp down. Oh my gosh.
You're keeping quite close to me, Father. Is the Count's company not to your liking?
Precisely so.
That's really funny, actually. Yeah, they do seem to be partners, though, these two. In quite a lot of ways, which is interesting because I don't feel like Caspar and Linhardt actually interact that often, comparatively. So, just interesting. Though personality-wise, yeah, I would say they do match their fathers pretty heavily, which is kind of funny, honestly. Alrighty, let's get moving. Alright, but they're capturing that last fort, so hopefully they can do so pretty fast.
One particular man
Would save me a little bit of time. Yeah, they got it.
witnessed such military
Perfect. And we've defeated enough enemies on our own now. We're at 1300, so... Now I'm hoping it is just the enemy commander. Nice. I don't know if "we" is the correct terminology, but sure. Guess well, Caspar captured a few forts.
Beat my father? I don't believe it.
You boys did well. So well, in fact, that I think we ought to put
Oh.
it to the test ourselves. What say you, Voldemort?
Why?
So be it. I cannot promise to match your intensity.
Seems a little bit unnecessary, but sure. I wonder if we'd lost the contest of strength with them, if they would have still picked a fight with us.
Seems rather weak in the face of the might you display.
Shed's like, yeah. Yeah.
Sorry, I can tell your heart's not really in this.
I don't know what
That
you're
do it?
talking about.
Oh wow, he has a lot of health. What? That one shot the other count, and that didn't even do half of this guy's health. It's insane. You got it.
Show me what you've learned. Every technique and talent. Hold nothing back.
Fight against the strongest man in the Empire?
Oh, okay. I was wondering if there's actually going to be another enemy that showed up, because usually you immediately stop being able to, you know, attack. Like right now when the mission ends, but looks like we're good.
Done yourself proud.
Well, this day has been simply awful.
Jeez.
Time for me to hurry home and fall into bed.
Dad, it's still early. I bet my father has plenty more training in store for us.
Level 72 shares. I wonder if there's a max level cap in this game. Because in Warriors I have like, what, like a level 158 Camilla or something like that on my main save file. Just interesting.
Can't let this.
Alrighty. There you go. It's nice.
So you finally bested your old man, huh? I'm
Yeah,
proud
there
of
you go.
Caspar. And Linhardt, you've come a long way as well.
Oh my gosh.
And it puts my mind at ease to know these two have a companion like you around. Don't you agree, Valdemar?
Any peace of mind I may have gained will doubtless be wiped out soon by more of your antics, Leopold. But yes, as one never knows what will happen on a battlefield,
Okay.
it is always good to have capable allies.
Wow, did you hear that? My father isn't easily impressed, so you must have really knocked his greaves off back there.
It's an honor to get complimented by such a
Jeez.
renowned military
He
monarch.
wants more sparring partners.
Well, if you ever want to test your might, you know
Oh,
where to
okay.
find me.
I don't think that was ever on
Oh.
the table.
See, the downside is because we did this paralog so late and we don't use Gaspar, that's not super helpful to us, but if that actually gives it to us, I mean, that's another,
They've been
like,
enough
hero
for
relic we could get.
generations.
And we still have that renown shop that gives us, I think there's one for practically every weapon that requires a crest.
Are you sure?
It's only right that they get passed down to the next generation of Burgley's warrior.
Hmm?
You mean I've earned them?
Yeah, I don't mind the fist weapon moveset though. It just
Looks like all your hard work's
really
finally
didn't commit to
paying off.
using any, and so
Thank
just
you.
haven't used one.
Truly. I'm gonna get even
I haven't been a big
stronger
fan of the
to
bows
keep
though. We
proving
used
myself
Shamir for a
to
good
the
while because I like Shamir, but
Well said,
Eh.
my son. Now
Hmm?
then, it would be rude of me to let the rest of you go empty-handed after all that. Here,
that's fair.
consider this as a thank you for letting me drag you all on my little adventure.
Hey, now
Yeah, we
we're
are a
talking.
mercenary.
After all those years as a merc, I always expect some kind of reward after a tough
To be
battle.
fair, I feel like that's
You
kind
throw
of
yourself
what we got
vigorously
pulled
into the
into with this
fray
entire
with
war,
your
but
friends, yet also keep a tight grip on the strings of your purse. You
oh,
will
maybe
make
less
for a fine
paperwork.
civil servant, if you ever have the inclination.
Hmm.
Tempting.
Oh my
I think
gosh.
I'd rather fight people than paperwork.
Oh jeez.
Gals like me aren't cut out for the civilized life. I prefer to let my sword do the talking.
Wait, you have a talking sword?
Did he just already leave?
Of course not.
Oh, okay.
If only you trained your mind with the same vigor as your muscles.
Man,
my
I
son.
wish I could fall asleep as easily as
Hey,
Linhardt does.
speaking of minds, where's Linhardt? He's been awfully quiet through all this. Did he seriously just pass out?
Oh, are we
The
going?
Ungripper monster strength.
Wow, look at that. I have a second wind.
It told me more
Just
supplies,
enough
that's
energy to
fine.
get me home
Wait,
and
what?
into bed.
Oh, we no longer have any paralogs, so it just took me instantly to base. So I don't know if we'll have a support conversation for the C rank between Linhardt and Gaspar. But let's finish those up and then we could pretty much just rush the rest of the story. I don't know if there will be a full chapter for the endgame. I think there was last time. I would assume it's also going to be us pursuing, you know, Rhea to some extent, but who can tell?
Supplies are the lifeblood
There was
of
not.
an
Okay.
army. Everything
Well, in
has
that
its
case, it's
place.
just between Raphael and Marion. It's their B rank, but their only conversation would appear. Is he just gonna lift her up and take her?
Hey there, Marianne. What's up?
I can't get this poor thing to return to the stable. When I asked what was wrong, she said her stomach.
Is it a horse they're talking about? How did she know what the horse said?
Yeah.
He is gonna lift up the horse though. Well,
If we could get her back to the stable, I could examine her and provide.
the man is all about muscle.
Step aside,
Yeah.
Marianne. It's Raphael's time to shine. Oh,
Yes, but how exactly?
Oh, Marianne.
easy. I'll get her onto that cart over there and push her back home.
But I highly doubt she'll. Be
Oh,
able
he
to
didn't
get
just
to
lift up the horse.
cart given her
I-
current state.
Well,
It's fine. Just leave it to me.
oh wait.
Good horsey.
Wait, did he?
Good horsey. Just like that. See? It's not such a bad cart. And here we.
Did he actually lift the horse, or did he just like push her in? He obviously pushed the horse on the cart, which even with like the wheels on a cart, that's insane.
Thank you very much.
It's an interesting
Raphael.
looking horse.
I gave her medicine, so she should feel much better soon.
Hmm.
It seems she wants to thank you as well.
Okay, so he did. Yeah, that's insane.
You don't need to be thanking me, horsey. I'm just glad you're feeling better.
I hope
My
this
uncle
is
and aunt used to teach like riding lessons and stuff, so I used to know how to ride a horse. To some extent.
Horsey there was just the right
Wasn't
size.
super great at it, obviously. It depends on the horse and everything, but I got like a lesson or two from them, and then
I fear she made a
my parents made me do like Boy Scouts until I was like 13 or 14, so I actually did the full-on merit badge for horseback riding
She's
after that
always
too.
been a bit of a
Lots of
slut,
fun,
I'm
but
afraid.
again, I think it really depends on the horse.
Still,
I'm by
surprised
no
she
means
was
an
so
expert,
far
but it
as
is fun.
something she found by the side of the road.
Ah, she was just hungry and eating what was around.
What?
I know the feeling. I've eaten a lot of weird stuff before.
Like what?
I don't know.
Yeah,
Old
that's
heart
interesting.
stuff, fuzzy green stuff.
Oh,
Think I ate some long
that's fair.
chili
This is like a medieval time setting, so
Gee, and you weren't
you know.
sick even after eating all of those bizarre things?
not always possible.
Nope. Oh,
I don't think that's how that works,
I only eat
frankly,
weird
but
stuff
sure.
when I'm really hungry.
Oh my gosh.
I wish this poor horse had a stomach like yours.
Hey, if you want a strong stomach, all you gotta do is
That and you're gonna be so constipated that you poo an actual brick.
Then you wolf down as much meat as you can handle. Do that, and you'll have an iron stomach in no time.
That too.
Give it a few days, and you won't even notice when you eat the weird stuff.
And they probably can't do crunches,
I'm
Raphael.
sorry, but I really don't think that's a proper training regimen for a horse.
Hmm.
Oh, that's right. Horses don't eat meat.
Can Marianne, is she just like the horse whisperer?
Appreciates your desire to
Is
help
this some part of
Raphael.
lore in Three Houses that I don't remember?
Oh, what'd she say now?
Yes, I see. Apparently she's feeling much better and wants to go for a run in a large open field.
Oh gosh.
See? She does want to work out. Come on, Marianne. The three of us are going running.
Back when I used to do bodybuilding with some friends,
Let's go!
it makes it a lot easier to get motivated, but let's just say there were times when I really didn't want to go, and they were like, no, we're going. It's exactly the same feeling. Oh, well, guess we're going now. Right, let's do this chapter in defense of Garrigmok.
Which
Okay.
battlefield are you headed to?
Well, let's see. Okay. Ooh.
Thankfully, we're not too late. Count
Wait, when we
Varley is
saved
still
for a second there,
holding
did it
strong.
say final chapter? I'm so
If the reports
confused.
can be trusted, Rhea is here, and so is a mage that fits the description of Arendelle.
'Cause there was like a chapter
which is
16.
Faye, Tallis.
Then there was like an endgame. And I thought there were separate
It's our two
chapters.
biggest
But maybe the
adversaries in
endgame is
one
literally
fight.
just the last
We
mission.
should deal with them here
Maybe
and
that's
now.
it.
I suppose this is a fateful battle for you as well.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I know my power came from those slithering jerks.
Yeah, maybe.
And I know they tried to manipulate me. But I still have so many questions.
Well, Hubert
about,
doesn't need to worry,
you know,
because
everything else.
next we're doing a
This
path
might
with
be
the
my
kingdom,
last
so.
chance to get some answers.
Hey!
I hope you do.
I...
Or else Hubert
Well,
might spend the rest
it's a little
of his life
understandable given
distrusting
what
you.
happened, but still, like...
After what
Jeez.
happened in ALL, he suggested disposing of you again.
Not my favorite plan, to be honest. Looks like I'm gonna have to
Thanks,
use this
Edelgard.
fight to clear my name.
Indeed. I look forward to it.
Okay.
But just so you know, you've already proven that a dozen times over.
Then I'm still a few dozen short. I gotta show you what the mercenary spirit's all about.
This is my first time hearing of such spirit, but I'm eager to see it in action.
Is this actually... I'm so confused. Maybe the final chapter is literally just the last... I'm just... I'm lost. And dumb.
We're gonna win.
I was expecting this stream to take like 3-4 hours at least to finish this out because I thought there was a whole other chapter, but maybe that's not the case. Yeah, what? Alright, then what do we got? Bolster defenses. I'm not super worried about allied strongholds. Set the surrounding area ablaze. Set Hubert and Fernand loose. So the problem with doing that is I think you do have to have them specifically... Yeah, required units. Didn't even see that. Let's see. Let's do Raging Flames and maybe the extra archers. Having the extra archers or extra units I feel is actually really nice a lot of the time. But 4 units deployed. Oh wow, it just gave me... Oh, no, it's the units from like the Paralog. Well, as always, where's Byleth? And where is Lysithea? I am still incredibly unclear as to whether or not we'll have Lysithea on our last path. I haven't looked it up. I really am hoping that is the case, but I'm not sure. I think we should... We haven't deployed, even in backup. Actually, Ash and... where is she? Mercedes. As much as we could have. But starting out with 2 units that are level 40 next path in addition to Chess will be nice. We'll deploy Gerald, because he's still level 59. And... Let's see, who have we got? Dorothy is level 48. Shamir's level 48. Let's do Dorothea. That way we're not just bringing it along at too many. I mean... Ow. Okay. Yeah, as I said, we have 2 mounted units, 2 mages now in our backup. Should be fine. I do still wonder, I have friends that play Fire Emblem, but, none that have played this particular game or the Warriors games. Makes me wonder how it would go to play this with the second player, though. I know the original Warriors did as well. But none of my actual immediate family members or friends who live close by would play it. Just interesting. How many enemies we got? 2,000 enemies, 30 minutes. Wow. That is... It's a long stage. Well, let's make sure to take as many enemies out as we can. We'll count Varley. Yeah, I think part of the reason they were able to so easily kind of depose Rhea was because they had kind of an immediate, almost replacement. And actually... Oh, is there a gatekeeper? I'm confused as to how we get in there. I was going to send people immediately to Count Varley there. A heavily armored unit. Well, we do have Edelgard. Where was the... Send Lysithea there, but where was that? Is this... Oh my gosh. Do that. But where was the crack in the wall? I genuinely... Oh, it's right here. Alright, well.
You can count on me.
It's convenient that Edelgard was right there.
The Southern Church's bishop is an enemy of the goddess and must be destroyed.
So now we can send Edelgard directly to help him. I don't know if they're going to send more units to attack him afterwards, but that'll... Oh. Gregor von Varley. When people say things like that in these games, I'm kind of like, what if I just left them? I know we'd probably fail, but like... They really make a strong point like that for me just leaving them, honestly. That one shot, yeah? Oh, good, okay. Lysithea should be fighting the Gremlins. Yeah, like, if we... Surely. Like, I can't imagine why we wouldn't have Lysithea in the Kingdom Path. There's always the chance, but it's just... Yeah. It's just hard to know. But again, worst comes to worst, even if we have none of the units we have leveled from like our main group, I'd imagine we'll probably still have Shamir. We should still have Violet Geralt past chapter 10. And we should still have, obviously, Shez. So we'll still have a pretty solid team. Can we not go through this one? It's just whether or not we'll have our best mage. I wonder if we'll have Dorothea as well. She's generally a character that I could see us also having on every path. It's just difficult to know. Oh, okay. We'll send Lysithea back that way. There was a gatekeeper that just didn't appear immediately.
You can count on me. I'll do.
An ambush, is it? I should have known things would not be as simple as they seemed.
Wonder when we release our flames. Did I just miss? Gosh dang it. That's the one downside to mages, is I feel like their skills are a little bit... I mean, we miss skills with like Shez and such frequently too, but... Eh. There we go. Right, did that one-shot Mycen? It did not. Well, we have two more, so... Sorry, Mycen. But you are not long for this world. I was really surprised though that we actually actively did, you know, kill Kronia. Because that wasn't the case. I like, genuinely, maybe I'm just forgetting, but I'm pretty sure Kronia just kind of disappeared in Golden Wildfire. I know I've seen people were saying they were hoping that she was playable, but it's just by the nature of... Did he not take damage? Wait, ow. He did disappear. Dang it. I think I just wasted my last A-bar with Lysa. That's fine. We still have 3 on Shez. It just... Oops.
That was close. Where did he go? We need to dispel those barriers at once.
If you retreated to the upper floor,
Interesting.
I do not see how we can reach
That's possible. Lower monastery floors. Okay. How do we get into the monastery? Do we have to do it from this direction?
Perhaps they have some sort of warping device.
The stage is actually kind of deceptively large.
Watch closely.
Yes, that certainly sounds likely. We should check every hiding place we can think of. I have seen such warping devices beneath the monastery. They are controlled by a separate mechanism located elsewhere.
Then we need to find that too.
It was pretty neat actually getting Violet's special weapon too. It was in the Renown shop. I remember I was really like curious about that the entire time we were doing the first playthrough. I was like, did we really not get this weapon? And then it turned out we do. Just wasn't quite immediate because it has to be a New Game Plus if it's in the Renown shop. Also, a few other things that are a little disappointing, like you can do it in the Records Hall when you're repeating stages when you use like Sothis, Rhea, and Arvel. But even when you're just doing like run-of-the-mill stages, I get why you might not be able to in actual story stages. But I was really hoping I'd be able to use them in actual, like, just, hey, I have to do these stages in between. But if it's only in a repeat stage, it's a little bit boring to me. All things considered, though... Dang, I forgot how fast Lysithea loses health. We gave her the, she has a power, or skill, I think it is. Or when she uses things like her weapon durability skills and such, they do more damage, but she loses health based on, like, a proportion of the, I think it was the mount it does. The might. So she loses health really fast. Okay, who's the closest? Probably Byleth. I'm sorry, Catherine. Do we have to kill Cat? Oh. I was really hoping she'd survive this pass. She died really early on in the other one. And like I've mentioned before, I really liked my favorite 4 characters in... Can we not go through this way? Okay. But they were always the duo of like Catherine and Shamir, and then Lysithea and Dorothy. But Chess has grown on me immensely this playthrough.
My turn.
I don't want to, like... You want to retreat? Fine. I'm sorry.
I'll not break what still needs me.
I feel bad about that one. I don't think it was necessarily avoidable, though, again. Like, we found that sometimes the main mission, like, obviously the time... We failed to recruit Byleth and Gerald twice this time, which is fair enough because we did first try the Golden Wildfire route. But we did find out that, you know, sometimes there are other requirements to it. Because with Byleth and Gerald, it was in our main mission to fight them, I think. But we could have just gone around and... There were a few other things. We had to have a specific strategy. There were a few other, like, details and stuff there, but... I think for the most part, though, unless it's a very specific circumstance like this, like here, I'm pretty sure if you're not sided with the kingdom, Catherine probably just dies. I would hope that she survives otherwise, but I don't know. What's this? Oh. That was apparently it.
This stronghold is ours. Now there will be no more hurling of the boulders.
Okay, okay.
We found the device, but it doesn't seem to operate by itself.
Does Byleth, real quick, does Byleth have a direct path to here? I can't tell. No, it is blocked off from that direction. That's annoying. So the device is supposedly in here. Yep, there it is. I'm concerned that, like I said, we're only a little bit over halfway on KO count, and we've basically cleared everything. That's what was his name? Myson, I think, will probably be coming back, as will Rhea at some point, I'd assume. Because it did say, I think, on the requirements that we were supposed to defeat Rhea, so... Where are we warping to? Is it going to give us an entirely other... That would be interesting. It just gave us an entirely other... Yeah, upper monastery. Oh, maybe it's just in there. Overall, though, I did enjoy both of the paths we've done so far. I'm not sure which one I enjoyed more. I think, genuinely... I hated Hubert going into... That was a bad voice crack. Going into... Three Hopes. But I think Hubert's more tolerable, at least if you're on his side here. And... just... I don't know. And I actually think Edelgard's a little bit more likable in this path as well, to be completely honest. Hi, Myson. Here, have this. Still, though, even with, like, all the crazy powers certain characters have, you know, like, even with the Awakening transformation and Shez and stuff, I think this skill right here is the coolest looking one in the game. It's like the light and dark powers come together and then they combine, and then she does a big attack. Just so cool. Now, I don't know if everyone has to individually warp over. Byleth is right next to the device. I was hoping the gates would just open, but I'm not sure that that's actually the case. We should heal real quick, and then we'll bring Byleth over then. Alright, where is... Here it is. Yeah, Tallus is here as well. More enemies did spawn, though, so I have an idea we'll be okay on KO count. Generally speaking, I think that they did put a lot of thought into things like the time limits for individual stages. Some of them are somewhat generic, but when you consider that it was pretty much always a static 15 minutes and 2,000 enemies in the original Fire Emblem Wars, like 99% of the time, there was clearly a lot of thought put into all the limits and such for this game, which I can appreciate. Hey, it's Cyril. The character that in Three Houses just kind of appears, and I never got why. Well, I hate to break it to you, Rhea, but Cyril does die in the last one. We fought him in the last battle of Golden Wildfire, and literally, I mean, the dude got up like 3 times. We literally kept beating him down. He showed up like, yeah, like 3 or 4 times, and then he finally did go down. So, unfortunately for Rhea, not a good outlook. You would think she'd just, you know, I get that it's a whole final boss aesthetic and such, but you would think she'd just come out and fight with her allies. And that would be their best chance, instead of her just kind of waiting in the wings and then eventually showing up once everybody's already, you know, pretty much dead.
We can't use these ourselves.
But maybe that's just me. There we go. Beat Zero and cut a path to Garrett Mog. Is he just in front of Garrett Mog? Honestly though, Violet's weapon is one of those really cool looking ones though that you would obviously have to be able to control somewhat magically. Because I could totally imagine it's like, if this was a real life weapon that you didn't have any control over and you just, you know, it's a sword and you could maybe just unlatch it and then it became a whip. How likely are you to hit yourself with the sword whip, you know? Like just smack yourself right in the, like, the face with it or something. We haven't even hit Lady Rhea. Oh, did he just go down first try here? Oh. I'm sorry, Cyril.
I hope that was enough to save her.
Man, everybody, so many people die in this path, I swear. So many members of the kingdom we just murdered. I didn't feel like we took out that many in the Alliance playthrough, but like, jeez. It's actually kind of sad. Is the... I'm confused. Oh, okay. Fair enough, game. I was like, the door isn't opening. Wait, are they together? That would be a big plot twist.
This is the moment we've been
Maybe they're fighting each other too, I suppose.
Rhea and Talus will be waiting
But if they were actually conspiring together, then oh boy, that sheds an entirely new light on why we need to get rid of Rhea.
striking distance. Yet we mustn't forget they are capable of anything. This situation could very quickly become dire.
No kidding. We're
Yeah,
talking
that's fair.
about the heads of the church and those who slither in the dark.
I wasn't expecting a conversation right before we went in, though.
Because once this begins, we cannot afford to waste
Hmm.
even a second. Lady Edelgard?
Yeah, we did so really early for the first time in this path, to be fair.
Through some strange twist of fate, we find ourselves capturing Garrigmok for the second time. Our first victory signaled the start of the war, and today's victory will be a giant step toward ending it. Today, together, we usher in a
Okay.
new era.
Wonder if there's any other enemies in there, because we are like 70 enemies short. And I don't really feel like redoing this stage before I go into New Game Plus. Oh yeah, no, we're good. Perfect. Oh, Talus is right here. I didn't even see him. So it looks like maybe they weren't together, because Rhea's at like the very end of the hall and Talus is right here. Still, outside of story purposes, though, that doesn't really make a whole lot of sense to me, actually. But maybe that's just me.
You ignorant fools dare stand against me?
Jeez. Oh, that's where that... I was wondering when that was coming into play. Seems a little bit overkill to do it when we're in the middle of a building, but you know. Maybe that's just me. Perfect, okay. Sorry, I know it's probably annoying when I just double check that every few seconds, but I want to make sure. It bothers me because I didn't know about that for such a long time, and that's why we didn't get enough KOs in a lot of our early stages, so now that I know, you can actually just check that. Would like to know. I wonder what it does, though. I mean, they're already pretty much done. Oh, did you? Oh. Interesting. That's one of those I feel like, because we did that too quickly. What is this? What is going... What? What? Interesting. Hmm. Interesting. Anyway. Hi, Rhea.
How fitting that I should settle things with
Oh,
Rhea
Ash is
here
excited
in
to
the
fight Rhea.
community.
Jeez.
No matter how many
Well.
years pass,
Oh, Rhea's not that tanky. Let's see how much damage this does. Wonder if she's gonna turn into a dragon again. I would assume so. But, you know. Oh, she's saying we look like Sothis. Well, yeah. Interesting. Interesting. Oh. Oh, she dropped her sword. Yeah, here it comes. It really does make me wonder, though, again, is she going to be the final boss in the kingdom as well? Because the kingdom was technically, you know, technically allied with her. They were the ones giving her shelter. So, just makes you wonder. Well, we don't actively have an archer. We do not have a lance. So as far as in terms of the shields we can break on her, it looks like we can break a lance and dark magic, probably. I'm not lance, sorry, axe and dark magic. I forgot we can't switch when we're in awakening. That's awkward. That should be... That's one. Okay. Switch to Edelgard then. Oop. What? Oh, everyone's giving their last. Oh. Ash using... I didn't know Ash had elixirs. I really haven't upgraded the Tactics Academy for a lot of units. We are not breaking her, her guard break very fast with Edelgard. Ow. Let's try this. Kind of thought it'd be a little bit faster, that's why I switched to her, and then I was going to switch to Lysithea to finish it for the dark magic. But at this rate, actually... Oh my gosh. Okay then. Yeah, her guard just doesn't seem to break very fast in general. That's interesting.
I suppose I can allow myself one day
Oh.
of truly giving my all.
I don't know. I get that, like, when you compare it to this human-sized models of them, Rhea is actually pretty big in this form. But I always imagined the dragon form being, like, massive by comparison. And again, it is, but it's just... I don't know what I was expecting. I guess, no, scale-wise it does look kind of similar, I think, to when... Is it the church route when she kind of goes back and fights alongside Rhea for a second and then gets, like, chucked in the chasm or something like that? I'm trying to remember. It's been a long time. But does she actually die in this path? Because... I mean, so many people die in this path, like, crazy. Oh? I mean, if she just leave peacefully, genuinely, we could probably... Oh. Like, seriously, if she just peacefully leave. It probably wouldn't be an issue. Oh. Oh my gosh. Oh gosh. Is Talus back? I thought we killed Talus. Interesting. Who has it? Does anybody have an A-bar? Oh, we have 3 here. Perfect. Yeah, I didn't expect. That's interesting. Clearly, I wasn't paying enough attention. This should take out Rhea. And I think all 3 A-bars will also probably take out Talus as well. Interesting. Yeah, we really didn't deal with Talus in the Golden Wildfire route at all. So, just interesting. Is it not over yet? It's a very drawn-out final battle compared to what Golden Wildfires was.
I will give you the burial you deserve.
Oh, she didn't attack us. Is Taurus stronger than... Oh.
Then die along with it.
Ooh, that was kind of a cool fade out of color, honestly. Did we just lose our... Did they both die? That's kind of a different ending than Golden Wildfire. Golden Wildfire, we are, you know, directly responsible for putting an end to Rhea. Whereas here... I would still say we're pretty responsible, but not quite in the same way. Unless one of them pops back up. Dang. As incorrect as I think Rhea was, I kind of did hope that she would survive in one of the paths. We'll see.
There's no way.
It's just a high five.
Could have survived that.
Well then, just one thing left.
Must we do this now? But I suppose you earned it. Just this once. At last, Fodlan has been freed.
But maybe
from
Rhea does survive in the Kingdom route.
Today
Again,
marks a momentous new chapter in its
but
history,
it's just...
and we shall be its authors.
It is now 1183, Blue Sea Moon. The Empire has freed Garreg Mach and put the Knights of Seros and those who slither in the dark to rout.
That's a bit more of a, you know, obviously there's the very slim chance that one or both of them survive that explosion and fall. But at the end of the day, that is a bit more of a conclusive ending than we got in Golden Wildfire. Oh, do we have a whole other chapter?
As the Empire and the Leicester Alliance reaffirm their friendly
What?
relations, Edelgard prepares for her final battle with the kingdom, determined to see her vision made.
Wait. Prepares for final battle with the kingdom. Is there another chapter? Huh. Byleth was the MVP that one. That's interesting. I actually wasn't expecting that. There wasn't. What? Were they trying? I wonder if they were trying to set up for a sequel there. That's interesting. We had Monarch as an MVP in a battle. This is almost all going to be... I'm curious, but this is almost all going to be Shez. I would have to imagine. Just one Edelgard. I'm sure Monarch was the MVP of one of the earlier battles. I think it was back when I was like, oh, let's just let Shez do their own thing. You know? And this does show, I think, the first clear. Which looks like 2 A's. Not too bad. I went back and S-ranked a bunch of the stages when I was grinding out some gold. But... interesting. Yeah, I was super confused, though, because I thought we were only on Chapter 16, then we saved right before the final battle, and it said final battle. I don't get it. But it's either 16 and an endgame with, like, the endgame counting as the final battle, or 16 plus endgame. Whatever it is, it was the same length, effectively, as Golden Wildfire. So that's good to know. You could probably expect the same thing from the Kingdom route. But here's our letter from Shamir. We got one from Lysithea last time. Sorry we killed your friend.
This war was well fought, for you and me.
You wanna stick around with me?
Is everything settled? No. But we're near the end. And that's when a mercenary starts thinking about what comes next. Will you keep fighting for the hand that feeds you, or do you have other plans? You don't have to tell me.
That should just be the credits. New crest items been added. This save data is not. Oh, interesting. Carrying over data. Yep. So we save here. And then, okay, well, that was... I genuinely wasn't expecting that to be so fast. I genuinely thought we had a whole other chapter, because I thought we were on chapter 16, and then there was going to be an endgame chapter based on what I saw in Golden Wildfire. But again, I kind of looked over my footage, and I thought there was... I'm still just very confused, because this kind of happened, though. To be fair, I think that is what it is. Is you actually have a chapter 16, and then when you save before the final battle, that's when it counts it as endgame. Again, I could just be wrong once again, but I do think that kind of is what happened last time. I was like, oh, we're in the endgame, and I was just taken off guard, so just interesting. I think it's different, too, because with the Golden Wildfire ending, we were kind of left at a bit of an uneasy piece, where all three nations still stood, Rey was gone, you know, we really didn't deal with those who slid in the dark nearly as much in Golden Wildfire as we did in this particular path. But all things said, you know, just interesting. It gives you a lot to think about, because this one wasn't like... I thought it was a pretty good conclusive ending, but we really didn't interact. That's one thing, is Golden Wildfire, we very much clearly made it clear to Dimitri, you know, we said this is what's going on. Dimitri kind of stepped back, and then we took out Rhea at the end there. Whereas in this path, Edelgard really didn't settle things with the kingdom, now that I'm thinking about it. And that's why it's saying, you know, at the end, Edelgard still has to prepare for the final war with the kingdom. It's interesting because it almost makes me wonder if they're trying to set up a sequel where it's like, okay, well, instead of like starting at one point, as you do in this game, and then choosing your path, same thing with Three Houses, it's a... maybe they do a new game where every single thing, you have just basically 3 separate starting points. Like, okay, with the Alliance, or slash Federation, I guess, if it's Golden Wildfire, you start out in, say, a new game, trying to make that peace and have everything come together. With the Empire, if you start out with Scarlet Blaze, or, you know, the Black Eagles, you'd immediately start out with the war with the kingdom. But even then, I don't know how feasible that would be, because I don't know if that'd provide enough content for a full game. So it makes me wonder if they did just try to make slightly open-ended endings to each path, which is also potentially where they were going. It's strange to me, because it did feel like both paths left some things kind of open-ended. But yeah, next time that was a really short stream. It was only like an hour and 45-50 minutes. I may go ahead and off stream get things started, so that we're right up to the choice where we like choose our new house, because obviously that's the exact same thing no matter what path you do. But aside from that, you know, we still need to get through the last path. I do believe, I want to say it's Azure Gleam, I'd have to look it up, but it's Azure something, I'm 99% certain, with the Blue Lions, so we'll see. But anyways, guys, pretty short stream, but thanks everyone who stopped by. Finally got around to finishing this path. I do again want to maybe do a Genshin Impact stream here in a bit. We're going to be streaming Xenoblade 3 once it comes out at the end of the month. I want to say it's the 29th, and that'll be what we stream for a long time. Until then, I'm really not sure what I'm going to do. I'll figure something out, but anyways, guys, I'll catch you next time. I'll definitely post a VOD on YouTube, but I'll see you guys next time. Bye.